The Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro are finally here, packing a long list of features, updated dual drivers, LDAC codec support, along with that strong active noise cancellation we've all been asking for, plus much more. But how do they stack up against the top dogs in the true wireless market? In this video, I'll be giving you a complete review along with a quick comparison against the Sony WF-1000XM4, the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro, the Apple AirPods Pro, and the Sennheiser CX Plus. Now, let's get one thing out of the way. Soundcore sent the Liberty 3 Pro to me free of charge for testing and review purposes. But as my longtime viewers know, this doesn't affect my reviews in any way. So let's get on with it. So first up, let's talk about that Bluetooth connection. So these are running Bluetooth 5.2 along with SBC, AAC, and LDAC as their connection codecs. Now, before you start asking me in the comment section, yes, the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro are completely compatible with both iOS and Android devices. Now, when it comes to Bluetooth range, these are featuring 37 feet or just about 11.2 meters. Now, obviously that's going to vary depending on how many walls or obstructions you put in between the earbuds and the device that they're connected to. Now, these are also featuring single usage mode, and that's where you can use each earbud individually while the other one is charging in its case. But in addition to this, finally, wait for it, we have Multipoint Connectivity with the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. I can't believe it, but it is finally here. Now, if you're not familiar with what Multipoint Connectivity is, that's where you can connect these earbuds to two devices simultaneously. So if you want to have them connected to your phone and your laptop, or maybe your phone and your tablet, you can totally do that with the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. So now let's move over to video lag and latency. So if you're going to be watching your videos on YouTube or Hulu, Netflix, anything of that nature, there is little to no latency to be had both on Android or iOS devices. Now, moving over to mobile gaming, this is where casual games are not going to be an issue. So Asphalt 9 or Pokemon Go, games like that, not going to be an issue. But if you are playing competitive shooting games like Call of Duty or Fortnite, then you're probably going to want to find something else. There is some noticeable latency there. If you're a casual player of those games, probably not going to be an issue. But if you are highly competitive, you're probably going to want to stick to those wired earbuds. So now let's move over to the battery life. So Soundcore was claiming 6 hours with noise cancellation turned on and then 8 hours with noise cancellation turned off, for a total of 32 hours, including the charging case. But now let me hit you with some actual numbers. Now, in my own actual testing, I was able to get 3 hours and 22 minutes with noise cancellation turned on in LDAC mode, and then 4 hours and 7 minutes with noise cancellation turned off in LDAC mode. Now, if we go over to AAC mode, I was able to get 5 hours and 34 minutes with noise cancellation turned on, and then 7 hours and 50 minutes with noise cancellation turned off in AAC mode. So as you can see here, LDAC mode does drastically drain the battery. It is using 3 times the amount of data, so it makes sense why the battery numbers would be noticeably reduced here. But if you're afraid of not having enough battery life, just use them in AAC mode. They still sound great. Now, when it comes to recharging the earbuds, they do feature fast charging, and that's where you can put them back in the case for 15 minutes, and that'll give you an additional 3 hours worth of playback time. As far as recharging the case itself, they do use USB Type-C along with wireless charging, so you have both options on board, whichever one suits your personal needs. And then when it comes to the case for the Liberty 3 Pro, it is very similar in shape and size to the Liberty 2 Pro, but it is slightly smaller. And obviously the finish is going to be a bit different, where the Liberty 2 Pro and the Liberty 2 Pro Plus had this sort of rubberized grippy feel. The Liberty 3 Pro has a more smooth finish on it, almost like paint, so just a bit different. And as opposed to the Liberty 2 Pro, which were only available in the dark gray and the white, the Liberty 3 Pro are available in 4 different colors. Now, before we move into the next section, did you know that 80% of the people watching my videos aren't even subscribed to my channel? Help me change that. I'm trying to build a welcoming community around audio technology. So if you're into the latest headphones and true wireless earbuds, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'd love it if you joined us. So now let's move over to the comfort and controls. Now, when it comes to the comfort, Soundcore is introducing something that they're calling Fusion Comfort. Listen, Jefe fam, I don't know what that exactly is supposed to mean, but what I do know is that they did include 4 different tip sizes along with 4 different wing sizes to really customize the level of comfort that you can get out of the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. Overall, it is definitely improved and they are more comfortable than the previous version, the Liberty 2 Pro. They are indeed lighter and smaller overall, so comfort is definitely improved. For me and my large ears, wearing them for long periods of time was definitely not a problem. I actually had to sit in an airport for close to 3.5 hours before my flight, and there was no ear fatigue to happen. So pretty good. But I will say, these are on the larger side as far as earbuds go, even though they are smaller than the Liberty 2 Pro. So if you have those tiny ears, you might have to look elsewhere. Buyer beware when it comes to small ears. Now, when it comes to people who are sleeping with the earbuds, with the Liberty 3 Pro, back sleep will be perfectly fine. But side sleep is going to be a no-go because they do sit a bit farther into your ear and they will push right into your ear canal. So definitely don't want to be a side sleeper with these earbuds. And then last but not least, the Liberty 3 Pro are featuring an IPX4 water and sweat resistance rating. So I would definitely not submerge these in water, but if you want to work out or if you happen to get caught in a light shower, it's not really going to be a problem. So now moving over to the controls. These are featuring full touch controls, and you have access to single tap, double tap, triple tap, and a 2-second long press. And they are fully programmable within the Soundcore app. But I don't want to bore you with all of the minutia of all of the different options available there. Simply pop open the app and have a look around, and then customize them to suit your own personal needs. When it comes to the performance of the touch controls themselves, they are highly responsive and I didn't have any issues with controlling the earbuds. Now, on the topic of the app, the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro are featuring full app support and the Soundcore app is available for both Android and iOS devices. Now, whenever I do one of these app walkthroughs, the data shows me that literally everyone just checks out and completely skips this part, so I'm not going to sit here and bore you. You're all adults, you can open up the app and check it out for yourself. But what I will say is they give you all kinds of options and all kinds of features, so you definitely got to get that app to take full advantage of the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. But let's move on to the performance. So first up, let's talk about the active noise cancellation. So these are featuring the new Hear ID active noise cancellation, which is dual mode. Now, I know, you're probably sitting there asking yourself, what the heck is that? No worries, I got you. So first of the 2 modes is going to be comfort mode, and that is an adaptive noise cancellation, and it adapts to your environmental noise while also reducing pressure in your ear for added comfort, and it actually works surprisingly well. The second mode is going to be the high level mode, and that is the maximum ANC offered by the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. It is very strong, but a proper seal is going to be key for maximum performance here. Now, I tested the maximum ANC on a recent flight that I took from Los Angeles back to Oakland, and it actually worked surprisingly well. Now, mind you, the active noise cancellation on the Liberty 3 Pro is not Sony level active noise cancellation, but it's still pretty good, and it did an excellent job against those jet engines on a Boeing 737, so not bad. Now, one thing I will say is the active noise cancellation does require a bit of a setup. You do want to go through the process of testing it out and having it adapt to your environment, and that'll give you all of the options there. So make sure you go ahead and do that. Just takes a couple of seconds. It's not very difficult. Just go ahead and handle that in the app. So now let's move over to the transparency mode. Now, once again, this is a multi-mode, so let me break it down for you. So first up, it's fully transparent, and that's where you're activating the microphones, and that's going to pull in all of the external sounds. The next mode is voice, and that one particularly seems to block out a bit of the background noise and really focuses on human voices. The third mode is vocal enhancement beta, and this one is supposed to be like voice mode, but on steroids, and it does improve the volume of human voices slightly, but it's not a night and day difference. Now, overall, the transparency mode here is okay. It is not the best that I have ever heard, but overall, it does get the job done. Now, lastly, there is a wind noise reduction toggle, or WNR, but every time I will toggle that thing on and off, I didn't notice any kind of a difference. I put my face right in front of a fan, I went outside when it was breezy, I didn't see any sort of a difference there. So I don't know if that's an issue that maybe I'm just experiencing with my review sample, but I wanted to make sure you were aware of it. So now let's move over to the volume of the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. Now, let me say it just like this. These are loud AF, if you know what I'm saying. These are an easy 10 out of 10 on my volume scale. So I don't get anywhere near max volume on these guys. I'm probably listening to these comfortably right around, I would say 60, 65, 70% at most. So more than enough volume for even the most hardcore of volume junkies out there, or if maybe you're hard of hearing, plenty of overhead here for you. So now let's move over to the sound quality. So the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro are featuring the second generation of the ACAA, or the Astria Coaxial Acoustic Architecture, hybrid driver unit. Now that's basically a bunch of marketing jargon to say that these earbuds are running dual hybrid drivers per ear. So what does that mean for you? So these are running a dynamic driver and a balanced armature in each earbud. The dynamic driver is going to handle the low end and the bass punch. The balanced armature is going to handle the mid-range and all the crispy treble. The fact that it's running both of these per ear means that it can slice up all of the frequency right where it needs to go, and they place them right in the middle of each other so that there's no distortion and it all goes straight into your ear nice and easy. At least that's my interpretation of it. Now, these are also featuring the latest version of Hear ID, which is a personalized EQ based on a hearing test that the Soundcore app provides. Now, this Hear ID is also customizable with both a graphic equalizer, or you can apply your Hear ID to one of the 22 different presets. So a lot of customizability here. Thirdly, you've also got a 3D surround sound mode. Now, this mode is not compatible with the LDAC codec, but you can use it with AAC. It's sort of similar to like spatial audio or like Dolby Atmos, where it kind of makes you feel like you're sort of in a room or a spaced out environment. It works fairly well if you're going to be watching videos or movies, but with music, it leaves a little bit to be desired. It needs a little bit of work, I would say. Then lastly, you've got the default Soundcore signature plus the 21 presets, so you can go in and mess with any of those, and all of them are customizable. Then last but not least, you can set up your own custom EQ with the 8-band equalizer. So a ton of different sound quality options and customizability built in to the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. I was not expecting this amount of customization. This is pretty wild. Now, my personal favorite here is the Hear ID Custom EQ. I didn't have to mess with it or change anything. It sounds full, rich, has excellent width, and some good soundstage as well. I even went as far as to try to replicate it with the graphic equalizer, but it just didn't come out quite right. So I'm going to be sticking with my personalized Hear ID EQ, at least for the time being. Now, to be clear, fresh out of the box with no changes applied to the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro, they sound too bass heavy and dark for my own personal taste. Thankfully, the Hear ID literally fixed all of that for me. So the following breakdown of the sound is based on my personal Hear ID experience. As always, user experience will vary. So let's break it down. So first, let's talk about that bass. Where my bass head crew at? Let's get it, baby. You guys know what I'm talking about. And the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro are definitely going to be known for that bass response. It is strong, and there is deep sub-bass extension here. For some people, it's probably going to be too much, but if you're a bass head, you're going to be in paradise. Let's just put it that way. Now, the beautiful thing about the app is the fact that you can dial it back or add to it as you need. So that's kind of the nice thing about having that level of customizability. Now, as far as a test song is concerned, I used Money by Lisa from Blackpink. Those sub-bass hits on that track, dude, that's something you definitely got to check out. Like, for real, you got to do that. Now, moving over to the mid-range. The mid-range was kind of the weak point of the previous version of these earbuds, the Soundcore Liberty 2 Pro. The mid-range here has definitely been improved, but it still required a little bit of tweaking to get it to my own personal taste. Overall, the mid-range is neutral but responded well to EQ and Hear ID. It can be thin on certain songs and then once again thick on others, so it can tend to be inconsistent at certain times. Thankfully, vocal clarity is actually still very, very good, and there is good stage and good width in the sound, as I said before. Now, the test song that I used for this was You Really Got a Hold on Me by The Miracles. Now, that is a Motown legend that really shows how well the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro can shine for vocals and for live instruments. So now let's move over to the treble. And this is where you definitely have to be careful. The treble can become too bright or sibilant for people who are treble sensitive due to the use of that balanced armature. Much like the bass, it can be easily dialed back to suit your own personal tastes. Overall, it is bright and clear, but like I said, it can become too sibilant if you are not careful. There is good instrument separation here. Snares and cymbals are very crisp and clear. Now, as far as my test song that I used for this was Long Cool Woman by the Hollies. Now, that's an old school track, but it's something you definitely want to keep on that playlist if you like having an eclectic variety of music in your own personal test playlist. Now, if you're interested in my test playlist that I use to test all of the earbuds and headphones on my channel, check out the link right down below. It's going to be on Amazon Music HD. You should definitely check that out. Now, when it comes to any sort of cons or negatives, any kind of constructive criticism, firstly, it's going to be the lack of a dedicated gaming mode. So there is no low latency mode with the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. I was hoping it would have been there, considering that they included one with the Soundcore Live P3, but unfortunately it is not here. Now, secondly, these need proper setup to really get the most out of them. But once these are dialed in, both for Hear ID ANC or your Hear ID for your EQ, these are incredibly tough to beat, considering everything that they're bringing to the table. It is next level stuff here. And then last but not least, I kind of miss, and I'm just saying this for myself, this is a personal thing, I kind of miss having those top mounted buttons from the Liberty 2 Pro. I was kind of hoping that we would have seen a hybrid approach with both buttons and touch control, but at the very least, I want to give Soundcore kudos for giving us full customizable touch controls, single, double, triple, and long press. We gotta give them credit where credit is due. They came through for us, at least on that. So now let's move over to some comparisons. Now, let me preface these rankings by saying this. If any of you come down to my comment section telling me, oh, but in the last video, you said this was better than that, I will punch you square in the throat. Don't do that. My rankings are based on my current testing for this video, and my ranking lists are subject to change as nothing is ever set in stone. A new set of earbuds could drop tomorrow and take the #1 spot just that quickly. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Now, if you're interested in a video where I do a ranking of all of these Soundcore true wireless earbuds, Liberty 3 Pro, Liberty 2 Pro Plus, Liberty Air 2 Pro, let me know down in the comment section if that's something that you would like to see. Now, for this comparison, we are including the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro against the Sony WF-1000XM4, the Apple AirPods Pro, the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro, and the Sennheiser CX Plus. So let's start the rankings. First up, active noise cancellation. In first place, we've got the Sony WF-1000XM4. In second place, we've got the Apple AirPods Pro. In third, the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. In fourth, the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. And in fifth, the Sennheiser CX Plus. Now, it should come as no surprise that the Sonys are taking the crown for the strongest active noise cancellation in this comparison. While the Liberty 3 Pro are no slouch, they simply can't keep up with either the AirPods Pro or the XM4 for sheer active noise cancellation power. So now let's move over to the transparency or ambient mode. In first place, we've got the Apple AirPods Pro. In second, we've got the Sony WF-1000XM4. In third, we've got the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. In fourth place, we got the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. And in fifth place, we've got the Sennheiser CX Plus. Almost 2 full calendar years after their initial launch, and the AirPods Pro transparency mode continues to be one of the best on the market. Unfortunately, the Liberty 3 Pro still have some room to improve there, but it's definitely not better than Sony or Apple in this comparison. So now let's move over to the volume. In first place, we've got the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. In second place, we've got the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. In third place, the Sennheiser CX Plus. In fourth place, the Sony WF-1000XM4. And in fifth place, the Apple AirPods Pro. Now, when it comes to volume, the Liberty 3 Pro easily take the win in this comparison. It's not even close, but the closest that come to these in volume are the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. Now, last but not least, let's get into the sound quality. So in first place for sound quality, we've got the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. In second place, the Sennheiser CX Plus. In third, we've got the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. In fourth, the Sony WF-1000XM4. And in fifth place, we've got the Apple AirPods Pro. The Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro Hear ID feature is what really put them over the top in this comparison. This personalized EQ truly brings the sound quality to life and presents my music to me the way that I like to hear it. But I want to make one thing clear. Sound is incredibly subjective. The way that I like my music is the way that I like my music. This may or may not fit the way that you prefer to hear your music. So be sure to watch a few different reviews before you make that final decision. So now to answer that question from the beginning of the video, how did the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro stack up against all of the competition on the market? Now, despite the fact that they don't have the best ambient sound or the best active noise cancellation, the level of sound quality that they bring with their dual drivers, the fact that they offer you multi-point connectivity along with single use mode, the deep levels of customization not only for the controls but for the sound quality, makes these easily the best set of true wireless earbuds that you can buy for under $200 in 2021. This is a crazy amount of power in a set of true wireless earbuds. They bring a lot to the table, including almost every single feature you could even ask for. So if you're looking for a recommendation from your boy Jefe to you, then I highly recommend you pick up the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. That is an easy recommendation for me. Considering the fact that you can really customize the sound to suit your own personal needs, that's what puts these over the top over some of the best true wireless earbuds on the market, including Sony, Bose, Bowers & Wilkins, and Sennheiser. These Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro really bring it, and they really stick it to the competition. So now let's get into some mic quality tests, and this way you can hear which one is right for you. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously I'm indoors, it is a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone test for the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Sony WF-1000XM4. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I'm in an indoor environment, semi-quiet, so not too much noise. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the mic quality test for the Sennheiser CX Plus. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Once again, in an indoor environment, semi-quiet, so not a lot of noise. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Apple AirPods Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I'm indoors once again in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, and here we have the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro in a simulated crowd noise environment, almost like a crowded cafe or maybe a busy restaurant, something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, and here we have the microphone test for the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro in a simulated crowd noise environment, something like a crowded cafe or maybe a crowded bar, something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, and here we have the Sony WF-1000XM4 in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a crowded bus station or maybe a busy restaurant, something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the microphone test for the Sennheiser CX Plus in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a crowded bar or maybe a crowded train station, something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the AirPods Pro once again in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a crowded restaurant or maybe a busy bar, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. As always, you're going to have to be the judge of the call quality down in the comment section. So with all of that out of the way, if you're interested in checking out my full review of the Sony WF-1000XM4, check out the video that's going to be right up here on the screen. If you want to see the video that YouTube is recommending for you, check out the one that's right up here. With that said, I'm out of here. Peace.